3 years ago, I was doing everything that the experts said, sending thousands of cold emails, but I didn't end up booking a single call or even signing a single client. Since then, I've helped dozens of B2B businesses and agency owners generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue by using a smarter system. Like my client Deepak, who literally saved his business by switching to this approach.
Say working with you has single-handedly grown and kept my company alive.
And in this video, I'll show you exactly what I wish I knew back then, and more importantly, the 3 biggest mistakes that you're probably making that are killing your chances of getting new leads. You see, most people blame their offer or the tools that they're using, but the real reasons are hidden right there in plain sight. So let me pull up the Miro board where I've mapped everything out for you, and I'll walk you through exactly step by step what they are. So the first big mistake that I made was that I thought that cold email is only a numbers game. Now, again, I've preached this in the past. Obviously, send more emails, and you've heard people like Alex Mosey said, volume negates luck, and that is absolutely true. But cold email is not only a numbers game. Volume doesn't always equate to leads, and you'll get more leads quicker if your messages are more relevant. So here's what I mean, right? Let's say you have 2 cold email campaigns. One is just a broad campaign of dental clinics, and you're booking a call every 1,000 leads, 1,000 emails you sent. And another campaign is specifically like a orthodontist campaign. So it's a more niche audience. And then this second campaign, you're booking a call every 500 emails sent. And the reason is that second campaign is a lot more relevant and a lot more specific. And so your message is a lot more relevant to the dental clinic owner, right? Because think about it this way. Would you respond to a stranger who clearly didn't take 30 seconds to understand your business? Probably not, right? If in that first campaign of the broad dental campaign, if in that campaign you're sending out emails and you're saying, hey, we can help you become the leading dental clinic, they might be like, okay, well, yes, I'm technically a dental clinic, but I specialize more in dental implants, versus that second campaign where you're only reaching out to orthodontists and you're like, hey, I can help you get more Invisalign leads, or I can help you get more braces leads. It's a lot more relevant. And so the big thing that I see a lot of people make, the mistake that I see a lot of people make, is that they think, okay, if I just send more emails, I'll just book more calls. And yes, theoretically that is true, but that isn't the only way. You will literally get more leads quicker if your messages are more relevant to your ideal customer, if they're more specific in terms of the target market, and they're just more specific, right? I want you to really put this in your brain. Fewer high quality leads is better than a massive pool of leads. So what I mean is this: we had a campaign where we went after audiology clinics for one of our clients, right? And in this campaign, we only sent out 3,200 emails. That's really not that much. I think the total amount of leads in this campaign is like 1,500, 1,600. And so even with that, we booked 3 calls, and our client could realistically, he's in the midst of maybe closing a $2,000-3,000 deal off of this, right? And I say this to say that you do not need to send a massive amount of volume just to get just to get interest responses and calls. Because again, this campaign, 67 replies, 14% positive replies, 3 turned into calls, and he's in the midst of closing them. One of them, right? And so the first big mistake is, again, volume does not always equal leads. Make it specific, and don't only think that cold email is a numbers game. That's the first mistake I made, and I see a lot of people make. The second mistake is that people think that any lead is a good lead. And again, I'm guilty of this as well. I'm just telling you everything I did wrong. But what I mean by this is that I used to just target anyone and just everyone, any type of B2B business, any type of company, right? And I didn't directly define who exactly it is that I want to work with. And we've seen this time and time again across the board for just myself and across our clients, right? We've had clients where they're like, oh, we'll just work with anyone. And while, yes, you can theoretically target anyone and anyone can be your customer, it's not really the best, because you'll have some clients that make you very good amount of money, while the other clients, they'll just be a headache. They'll constantly be nagging you. They'll just churn after a month, right? And so the biggest thing here is that you have to define exactly who it is that you want to work with. So what I want you to do is take a look at your best case studies or even past customers you've worked with in the past and be like, okay, well, or your current customers, be like, okay, well, which ones have paid me the most money? Which ones do I like working with? And which ones have gotten the best results out of my services or product? And then go after similar customers. Because if you can do this, you will literally be able to define your ideal customer profile and you'll be able to go after people who are similar, right? And so the reason why those people have gotten the types of, I guess, results from working with you or using a product or service is because they are a super good fit for whatever you offer. And if you don't know who to pick, let's say you have like thousands of clients, or like let's say you have thousands of customers, or even if you're a beginner, just brain dump onto ChatGPT. Go on ChatGPT, give it your website, brain dump everything that you do, your services, your case studies, your offer, your product, and then let it pick for you. Let it help you find gaps in the market to where you can pitch your services for, right? So I would highly recommend you do this because it will help you just make your ideal customer profile selection a lot easier and define your offer a lot easier. So for example, for another client, he said, we had a client to where they had a really good case study with somebody in the obesity, like an obesity doctor, right? And so what we did was we just went onto LinkedIn, went to Apollo, and we just scraped quote unquote weight loss doctors or obesity doctors, right? And pretty much the copy was pretty simple. It's like, hey, I noticed that your company is similar to one of our clients, and we said the client's name. We just helped her do this. Are you open to hearing how we could do something similar for you? Right? And this guy responded back saying, hey, it looks interesting. I'm about to sign with another agency to manage our social media. Just booked us a time for us to chat later today. So literally we sent him one email. He booked a time with my client, and our client ended up closing him through just one email. And it was like a $15,000 deal through one email, the first email, literally. So you can see how powerful this is when you get super specific on your ideal customer and just go after people who are very similar to them, right? And the third and last mistake that I see that I made is that I trusted the tool instead of the signal. And again, I see a lot of people make this, and here's what I mean, right? So whenever I built a list off of Apollo, Outscraper, LinkedIn, whatever it may be, I just assumed that the lead scraping tool gave me the right leads without ever checking if they were even the best ones, right? So the lead scraping tools have tags, but I never checked if those tags are actually accurate. I remember one time we ran a campaign for a client to where they wanted to go after real estate developer companies, right? And we had a hard time finding these type of clients because they were marked under all these different industries. They were marked under real estate developers could be marked under construction, architecture, real estate, commercial real estate. Like there's so many industries they could be marked under, right? And so what we had to do was we just scraped the entire, like all those industries, and went after them. But we never actually went in there and checked, okay, is this a real estate developer? Is this the right type of lead? And again, this is the problem I see with a lot of people, right? Now you might be like, all right, isn't this similar to what you had above, like number two? Isn't number two and number three pretty much the same thing? Yes and no. Number two is more so about defining your ICP and putting the parameters. Number three is about data. Like where are you getting your data and are you checking if your data is accurate, right? The problem is that, again, these tools don't always have the best types of leads and the most accurate data. So the way you can solve this is you use AI to score leads based off of, things on their website, LinkedIn, their news, their social media, whatever it may be. You use AI to basically score the leads. That way you can only reach out to the best type of customer. And here's what I mean, right? Again, we had a client to where we were reaching out to dental clinics, and he said, hey, Arian, this company is another one-person clinic. Have you applied the filters that we talked about to start to filter for big clients, people making $50K a year on the side hustle, can't afford to hire me? I need real companies. So pretty much we were reaching out to dental clinics, and the clinics that were booking him were like one doctor clinics. They weren't really the best type of services because he charges premium prices. And so he wasn't able to really find those ideal customers that he had, right? Because they were mixed up and jumbled up with all these other types of customers. But what we did was we used that AI scoring feature that I talked about, and then boom, he said, okay, a few weeks later, he said, okay, keep them coming. I think this new offer is good. And the reason he said this was because we filtered out all of the bad fits, all the bad clients, and only targeted the most ideal type of customer. So again, number two, define your ICP, but then even then, number three, you really refine it. Really get into specifics of, okay, well, is this specifically on my ideal customer profile? So, yeah, that is number three. So to summarize, ladies and gentlemen, switch your mindset from just only sending volume to relevance. Define who you're targeting, and even when they do, or even whenever you define who you're targeting, make sure the data is solid. If you fix those three things, I promise you, you'll get all of the leads you desire. Like, you will literally be able to get all the leads that you want, all the calls that you want. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for this video. That is how the things I wish I knew. I literally would have gotten infinite leads if I knew this and I did this sooner. But if you are a B2B business and you want us to do all of this for you and build out this entire system for you to book 10 to 20 calls a month, book a call using the link below. Here is some of the results we've gotten for our clients. We helped Deepak generate $270,000 in 8 months. Magnuson booked 25 meetings, closed 2 deals. Renee booked 57 meetings and signed 8 new clients. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.